All right. Next one comes from Sammy. Says I get over 20,000 steps daily.
Whoa.
like in the quote of Cody, are you a dog walker? I get over 20,000 steps daily between walking and running. I also strength train three times a week. I'm a 5'7", 40-year-old female and have gone from 113 pounds to 121 pounds within 8 months. I eat around 1,300 calories a day. I know this is a low for my activity amount. Trying to figure out the reason for weight gain, perhaps metabolic adaptation, but I am very regimented and have had the same workout routine for 10 years. Or is it ever possible to create too much of a calorie deficit? I eat less. I eat less. I eat less, but the scale doesn't budge. I eat more. Scale doesn't budge. I am also vegetarian, so it is difficult to get protein intake, but try to get 80 to 100 grams daily. Carbs are from all veggies, around 130 grams and 30 grams of fat. I'm at a loss as what is going on. Any help would be great. Thank you, and always taking time to answer my questions.
I think that no matter what, you're under eating.
Yeah.
And that's likely causing some metabolic slowdown, because when we undereat, stress hormones go up and thyroid function goes down. Thyroid function greatly determines your metabolic rate. So if your thyroid is getting tired from the diet, your metabolism's slowing down. So metabolic adaptation is 100% happening, right? But that doesn't mean that you can, quote unquote, go too low. You technically can't go too low in a deficit, because there's kids starving in Africa that are like literally skin and bone, right? And if you could go too low and your body would go into starvation mode and stop losing weight, those kids would not be skin and bone.
Yeah.
They would still be normal kids, just really hungry. It's not the case. They're literally dying from starvation. So, and if we look at the Minnesota starvation experiment, which was a really old study, they put people into a metabolic ward. It was around like World War II time zone. They put people into a metabolic ward, which is the most controlled way you can do anything. It's basically like, you come into my lab, you stay here, sleep here, eat here, train here. Like, we control everything. So you don't put anything in your mouth unless we give it to you. So we know exactly how many calories you're consuming. It's the most controlled dietary study format you can do. And they put these people in an extreme deficit, and metabolic adaptation occurred, but they just kept losing and losing and losing and losing. They were skinny as fuck by the end of it, which tells me that you can't go too low. Like, you can have metabolic adaptation occur to a point where it becomes difficult to lose weight, and you have to go really low to continue losing weight. But a lot of people, like for her, she's already at really low calories.
1,300.
So like, if she had to go to 800 calories for her to lose weight, it'd be impossible to adhere to, right? So metabolic adaptation makes dieting more difficult, not more, like, it doesn't make it impossible, because it's just extremely difficult to only eat 800 calories a day. But you can become so metabolically adapted that you get to that point. So you should stop this way before you get to that point. But the other side of it is, when she said, I can take away calories, lose weight, add calories, gain weight, that tells me, or not gain weight, that tells me that you have a highly adaptive metabolism, which basically means that no matter which way you bring your calories, your body's going to re-regulate and kind of stabilize at that same weight, right? And I've worked with people like this all the time, where I work with guys who want to build muscle and gain weight, and we're trying to go into surplus, and they just don't gain any weight, and I just keep increasing. I have to literally tell them, hey, what's your step count every day? 15,000. I want you to purposely only hit 10. Like, I need you to stop moving so much, because every time we increase calories, your NEAT goes up. So when I increase calories, I'm moving more, I'm talking more, I'm stepping more, I'm standing more. That leads to less fat loss, right? Or in the case of, that leads to more fat loss, and you're trying to gain muscle and add weight. So in her case, what's probably happening is she adds calories, she actually just moves more and she doesn't realize it, burns enough calories to where her weight stays down. She drops calories, she moves less subconsciously, and still stays the same weight.
Yeah.
Right? So you can regulate it to a certain perspective. Like, if you're tracking steps, you can, but you really can't, like, unless you're wearing heart rate monitors and VO2 max masks to test your oxygen consumption and shit while you're training, you're never going to know if your performance is as high as it was with the higher calories. Like, you can track your steps and be sure to hit the same steps, But when I'm eating 3,000 calories, I can guarantee my training is going to be harder than when I eat 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
It just is. Like, and I might notice, but not enough to where I can justify it on paper, right? Without having these expensive lab tests. But point being, you're definitely under eating. I would increase your fats immediately. I would, if you're really set on being a vegetarian, obviously that's fine, but you're probably going to need to consume some vegetarian protein powders and get that protein up because that's just not high enough. You should be consuming at least 1 gram per pound. And because you're a vegetarian, I'd almost lean on going above 1 gram per pound because the protein you're consuming is less bioavailable. It's just not the best protein. But if you're a vegetarian, did she say vegetarian or vegan?
Vegetarian.
So if you're a vegetarian, technically you can eat fish and egg whites. And so I would probably start eating fish and eggs because those are really good protein sources. And that'll help without having to supplement with protein powders and stuff. But in general, I think you're under eating. So like my go-to route for you would be to start reversing your diet. Stop worrying about losing weight. So reverse diet so that you can get your calories up. If you can maintain weight, great. That's a huge positive sign. But get your calories up so you can train harder, you can sleep better, you can have lower stress, you can have better biofeedback, maybe step less so you can recover more too. And then wait 2, 3, 4 months before even trying to diet again. And then jump back into the diet and see what happens.
Touche.